Praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah, Bahasham Rachak, Wadash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be, wherever you may be. Shalom, Yeshua, Shalom. All right, we in getting to Exodus chapter 16. All right, verse 1. So it says, the Lord provides manna. All right, this is a pretty short chapter, also straightforward. So it says, and they took their journey from Elim. And we talked about Elim in the last chapter. Alayam, I believe the word was, right? Elim. So it says, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came into the wilderness of sin. I want to put this word congregation real quick because, the churches seem to think the congregation is just that. These modern day churches, the people in the church, right? I think the word is Ida. Okay. Congregation, gathering. All right. Let's see what this is. Id. Witness, testimony, evidence, witness of people. Okay. All right, wow, let's see what this says here. It's around. So they didn't really give us anything there. All right, but this congregation, this assembly is of Israelites. There's a scripture, and actually I like to pull out. Not saying it's a precept to what we're reading here, but I like to pull out in Joel 2, where it says gather. As a matter of fact, let me just get it real quick. All right, let me get down here. Joel 2. See, blow the trumpet and where? In Zion. All right, then where's Israelites? Okay, I'm gonna hit that. I want to hit the Zion. Pull up the Zion real quick. To Zion 1 is the word there. So it says parched place, meaning parched place. It says another name for Jerusalem, especially in the prophetic books. All right, and we know that true Jerusalem are the Israelites. There's a landmass of Jerusalem, but the true Jerusalem are the Israelites. Second Maccabees 5 is a good 5 and 19 is a good scripture on that. Signpost monument market. All right. That monument, that memorial, okay? That is you Israelites, man. Okay? Not only just a place, but you Israelites. You're true Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is scattered, all right, throughout the four corners of the earth. So it says parched place. I mean, parched place is another name for Jerusalem, especially in the prophetic books. So the scripture says, blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the people, sanctify the congregation. Was the word same there? Probably was there. Okay, so it says quahal here. And you have assembly, company, congregation, convocation. Okay, there you go. Company of returning exiles, which is exactly the one that should be used with this scripture, because the returning exiles are the Israelites. All right, the captive exiles hasten the day to be loosed. I believe that one's in the Apocrypha. Okay, so there you go. See, the captive exiles. Just wanted to kind of point that out. It's not major. Like I said, it's not even a precept to what we're reading now. Just something that I wanted to point out. See, it says to assemble, gather, to assemble for religious reasons, for political reasons, for war, judgment, all those things, right? Company of returning exiles. There it is. Point made. All right. So gathering the people. It's talking about Israelites. All right. Sanctify the congregation. That's why I read blow the trumpet in Zion. Like it says in Isaiah 58:1. Blow ye the trumpet. Lift up your voice like a trumpet. All right. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions. So on and so forth. Just paraphrasing. Gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children and those that suck the breast, and let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, which is who? Yahweh Shah, and the bride out of a closet, which is the remnant of the nation of Israel. So we made that point there. So let's get back into the chapter. So Exodus 16:1 says, and they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel. You see, well, I wanted to point all those things out because it's telling us clear right here, children of Israel. All right, but like these churches, they'll go into, especially they love to go jump into the New Testament and just try to make, what's being written universal, or try to take what's in the Old Testament and say, oh, the Lord changed. Oh, now he likes everybody. All right, what are you talking about? So it says, they came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month, after their departing out of the land of Egypt. Excuse me. All right, it says on the 15th day of the second month, after their departing out of, because remember, When we started our Passover, that's where the months really started for us. All right. So this is the second month. All right, to us. Okay. Now, the heathens, they do their calendar however, but for us Israelites, this would be our second month. This is when our second month started here after Egypt. All right, because that was the Passover, marking the first, or not. Well, yeah, you could say first month. I was thinking of first, day and week, whatever. But yeah, first month. All right, and then so we're in the second month after the Passover. So now it's a whole month later after we've been delivered out of Egypt. All right, so give you kind of a time frame there. Verse 2 says, and the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. All right, remember, we get the word murmured. All right, pretty straightforward. All right, so the word there is lawan. It says, let's get the right one. Here you go. To grumble, complain, murmur. All right, to grumble, complain, cause to grumble. Yeah, they gave him that the Yosemite Sam, the Radra Fredra, always complaining. And as I said in one of those previous sessions, from this moment forward, after the first time they complained, talking about we should have stayed in Egypt, oh, you brought us out here to die, all that stuff, it only gets worse and it amplifies from that moment forward, and you're about to start seeing it. All right, how they're going to constantly complain, constantly get listened to, get taken care of by the Lord, complain again, taken care of, complain again. All right, and there's nothing to do with the people like that, because it's like, well, what the hell do you want? Do you want to stay in Egypt, die in Egypt, in captivity, having no freedom? Okay, or do you want deliverance and everything you could ever imagine? And that's the flip flop that they kept giving the Lord. All right. Oh, we need this. Oh, Lord, help us. Oh, complaining and stuff. Oh, then you get blessed. And then go back to complaining. And then you get blessed again. And it's over and over and over. All right. So the Lord, there's nothing the Lord can do with the people like that, man. Except for, well, eventually, he puts up these stipulations, which are his laws. All right. And, and says that, hey, if you transgress them, these are the curses that are going to come upon you. And we all entered into that covenant by way of blood. Okay. So it says, and the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto them, would the Most High we had died by the hand of Yahweh in the land of Egypt. See, here it is again, the second time. When we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full, for ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill us, to kill this whole assembly with hunger. I mean, we just read in Joel 2, that solemn assembly, right? So we're talking about a gathering of Israelites, which this is clear here in Exodus that we're talking about the Israelites anyways. All right. But I just still want to make that point. So it says, and I wonder what this says. It says flesh plots. Let's get these other versions here. See what it reads. And the Israelites said to them, would that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the pots of meat, okay, and ate bread until we were full, if you had brought us out into his wilderness to kill us, to kill this entire assembly with hunger. All right, so you see them complaining. All right, we were eating good. All right, everything we needed. Okay, we were slaves, but we were okay. Our bellies were full. If only Yahweh had killed us back in Egypt, they moaned. There we sat. You see, if only he had killed us back in Egypt. You'd rather die a slave with a full belly and actually have freedom and, suffer a little bit of hunger for a little while, which the Lord just wasn't going to let you starve anyways. And that's why, as we keep reading, you see what he does. There we sat around pots filled with meat and ate all the bread we wanted. But now you have brought us into the wilderness to starve us all to death. You see? That's that murmuring, okay? Complaints, man. All right, you should be happy that you're out of Egypt now. But no, now they're complaining about something. All right? And that's Jake for you, man. It really goes back to really an emotion of a woman, man. Where you can never please a woman, all right? You make her happy, and then she wants something else. And then you make her happy, she wants something else. And that's a continuous downward spiral, because you can never please her. She's always going to want something. And then the more that you do for her, the more she's going to want. And so the more she's going to draw your energy out, man. She's going to really just weaken you, man, as a man. Anyways, it says, and the children of Israel said unto them, it says, would to the Most High we had died by the hand of Yahweh in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full, for ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill us, to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Then said Yahweh unto Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. And this is, we're not going to go into it because it's a whole other topic, but this was something that was said about Yahushua as well. Well, I think he said it himself. All right, he was that bread from heaven. Okay, and man, did that blow blow some head gaskets. All right, but back into this chapter here. So it says, and you shall go out and gather a certain rate, all right, a certain amount every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. And that's the part that they missed. All right, the bottom part. All right, all they heard was you gonna get fed, but they missed said the part where it says you shall gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no, whether you would do what I say or not. And it shall come to pass that on the sixth day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Because on the seventh day is what? The Sabbath day, not Saturday, because the Sabbath is determined by the new moon. Okay, so on the sixth day we would gather, the extra necessary, because on the seventh day we would rest. So all the cooking was done on the sixth day, and before the sun went down. All you get the point, all right? Because we rehearsed the righteous as today, all right? So when we go back to the history and see how we're dealing here, right? So it says, and it shall come to pass that on the sixth day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily, right? Because, day 1 up to day 5, you only needed a single portion, because on the next day there was going to be more. But on day 6, you need to gather twice. Twice as much, because you need for day 6, and you also need for day 7, which would be the Sabbath day, where there is no work. So verse 6 says, and Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel at even, then ye shall know that Yahweh hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of Yahweh, for that he heareth your murmurings, you see, against Yahweh, all right, not against Moses. You murmured against Moses and Aaron, but these are the men that he set up, all right? And that's no different from today. When when you get these mockers, these scoffers, these jokers, right? Or even, you hate to say it, but it's just the truth, right? Even other camps, man, that say false things about other individuals, other men in the truth, right? When you do those things, all right, and you're going against the Lord's prophets, the men that he set up, you're going directly against the Lord, all right, and he will check you for it. It says, in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of Yahweh, for that he heareth your murmurings against Yahweh. And what are we that ye murmur against us? You see, it's saying, what are you, hey, you're screaming and yelling at me and Aaron, but hey, we're nobody, all right? You don't understand what your complaints are going. They're towards us, but they're going straight to the Lord, man. All right? And so you basically getting out of line. When it goes on, it says, the Lord provides meat. Check this out. It says, and Moses said, this shall be when Yahweh shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that Yahweh heareth your murmurings, which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You see? That's why we gave the example in our time, in real time, in modern days. When you go against the Lord's prophets, you're going against the Lord, because the Lord set up the prophets, Jeremiah 29. As we just quoted that one yesterday. As you hear me, quote that one often. The Lord has raised us up prophets in Babylon. Amos 3, surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. You see? So when you complain against the Lord's prophets, the men he set up, his mouthpiece, you're going and complaining against the Lord. All right. And you see, and the internet, the Lord has set up the internet for multiple reasons. And one of those reasons, it has allowed us to see just how rebellious these women are, because they can't shut their mouths. They're botching up the scriptures. All right. They're going into false books and thinking their doctrine and so on and so forth. And they don't want to be submissive. They don't want to be women. The average woman doesn't even know what the word woman means. Okay. But anyways, it says, and Moses spake unto, and I speak that because, there's an order. What's that? At 1 Corinthians 11:3. I get it since I mentioned it, because we really don't need it. I want to, but, still make the point. All right. But I will have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, which is, of course, Yahushua, right? And the head of the woman, all right, if I'm correct, this word is the same here, as there's a different word there. But let's see what it says. Of persons, master lord of a husband in relation to his wife. Look, master lord over you. You see? Even when you're going back to what is it, Genesis, all right, where it told the woman, I believe it's Genesis 3, where it says her desire shall be to her husband. Yeah, he became Lord over you. Well, he was already Lord over you, but it became doubly solidified way back in Genesis. You see? But yet you have rebellious women today, and that's all because of, the curses and prophecy and things of that nature. It says, but I will have you know that the head of every man is the Messiah, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of the Messiah is the Most High. All right. So let's go back. And women to try to go into later things that are said in Corinthians, where we just came from, to try to, justify themselves. And you have no idea that you putting your foot so far in your mouth, it's coming out your backside. Let's go back. So it says, and Moses spake unto Aaron, say unto all the congregation. And this is not about women. I was just making a point. But hey, you know how the saying goes. And Moses spake unto Aaron, say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before Yahweh, for he hath heard your murmurings. You see? You said it to us, all right, to me and Aaron, but you have no idea what you said was directly against the Lord. Or whatever you murmured about and complained about was directly against the Lord. And he's heard you. All right? So get together, because we finna chop it up. For he hath heard your murmurings, and it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of Yahweh appeared in a cloud. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings, all right, of the... As a matter of fact, let me go back and see something real quick. Let's see what it says here for the glory of the Lord. All right. Kabawad is the word there. Glory, honor, glorious abundance. So I've seen this word before. Honor, splendid, glory. I'm surprised it doesn't say, what's the word there? When it talks about his train filled the temple, stuff like that. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But let's go back. So it says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at even, which is evening time, right? At even, ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread. All right. So at night, or you say night, evening, whatever, you're going to get meat. And in the morning, all right, you're going to get bread. And ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh, your power. Okay. So it's like, he's like, chill out. Okay. I'm about to feed you, and you're going to know that I'm your power. All right. There's no need for you to complain. Okay. But check out as we keep going on, man. And it came to pass that at even, the quails came up. So this is what he gave them to eat. All right. The meat was quails. Okay. And covered the camp. And in the morning, the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was going up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness, there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. Excuse me. So, the morning dew, basically, when you wake up, hey, that's a sign right there for you non-believers. You don't think the Lord is real. The fact that the grass is still wet in the morning when you go outside shows you that the Lord is real, because that's the dew in the morning that it's talking about. The water that's on the grass, the moist, ness that's on the grass. All right. Outside. All right. So it says, as soon, all right, and when the dew that lay was going up, basically once the dew has evaporated, all right, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. It says, and when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna. And it goes to show you that it wasn't just like the middle of a desert, because there had to be grass, all right, somewhere, okay, for the dew to be on it. But anyways, it says, and when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna. All right, we get the word manna. Okay, so it says, the bread from heaven that fed the Israelites for 40 years of wilderness wanderings. Okay, I don't think there's anything else here. So there wasn't much at all, straightforward. So it says, for they wist not what it was. And that's what we just saw there in the definitions, where it supposedly says it means what is it. We don't know that. It just says that. But anyways, it says it is manna, for they wist not what it was. So, I mean, but it would make sense. I guess they called it manna or whatever. Who knows? It says, it is manna, right? They said one to another, it is manna, for they wist not what it was. So, it makes sense, but it's just kind of interesting to make the point. Because usually when you see the definition, it'll be right beside the word, but it's written down here because it'll say, word and it means this, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it makes sense. It means what is it? Because that's what they just said. They said one to another, it is manna, for they wist not what it was. So it's saying that the word manna means what is it? So it says, and Moses said unto them, this is the bread which Yahweh hath given you to eat. All right. So he promised, right? Meat in the evening. What was the meat? It was quails. Bread in the morning. What is the bread? All right. From after the dew evaporating. All right. It's this manna. Okay. Now it says in verse 16 says, this is the thing which Yahweh hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating. All right. And this, now remember, he said, hold on, let's go back up here, see if I can find it. Here we go. It says, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day. All right. He already gave this little stipulation here. All right. It says that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. Now check this out. Because as we read through, it was about what? Gathering day 1 to day 5. On day 6, you gather double for day 6 and day 7, because day 7 is the Sabbath day, right? So now you see how that comes into effect, right? This is the thing which Yahweh hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, and omer for every man. I believe that omer is 2 liters. Let me see here. Omer, a dry measure of 1/10 an ephah, about 2 liters. So, you've seen, a liter bottle or whatever. So, you can get a general idea of what 2 liters looks like. All right. So this is what he's saying here in omer. It's supposed to be equivalent to 2 liters, right? So it says, gather of it every man according to his eating, and omer of every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents. So he's telling you to gather a certain amount. And I'm not sure whatever he like in another translation here. These are the Lord's instructions. Each household should gather as much as it needs. Pick up 2 quarts for each person in your tent. So it says 2 quarts here. All right, so 2 quarts. And 2 liter would have been, like the 2 huge, like soda bottles or something like that. The big ones. So you kind of get a general idea. He's telling them to get a certain amount is the point there. I wonder if the AMP reads in a similar fashion. It also says an omer here in the AMP. So let's go back to the KJV. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Where is it? I don't see. Here it is, omer. Because we actually pulled that up, I believe. Yeah, we pulled that up. Dry measure of 1/10 of an ephah. Let's see what comes up if we pull that up. I was going to grab where it says about 2 liters. But let's see what comes up if we punch this in. Exodus is 1/10 of the ephah and would thus be equivalent to the isaron or tenth. See, the same thing there as an omer was about 2 quarts or 2 liters, you see? Which we just got both of those. NLT took us to the quarts. The other 2 versions gave us the liters, all right? 2 liters, all right? So you get the general idea there. If you can really visualize, unless, like I said, you can pull up an image or whatever to get the general, which we did, idea of how much we're talking about. So it says, this is the thing which Yahweh hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man. All right. So it says, according to the number of your persons, take ye every man for them which are in his tents. So it's basically talking about divvying it out and only getting a certain amount for each person. And the children of Israel did so and gathered some more, some less, right? Because it was according to everybody in their tents, right? So it says, and when they did meet, because, there's bigger families, smaller families. You might even have single men, single women, whatever. All right, women with children and no men, or however, whatever kind of mixture there. All right, so every person according to the number of their household within their tents. All right, so it says, and some gathered, some more, some less, because of those numbers there. So it says, and when they did meet it with an omer, right? Meet, get the word meet, pretty much measure, if I'm correct, goes to like a measure or something. Yep, to measure, stretch. Okay, measure off. Yep, straightforward. All right, and when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. Right, so he that gathered much then had more than he was supposed to have, and those that had, they were less, they didn't lack in anything. All right, even though the numbers may have been smaller, you still didn't lack. It says they gather every man according to his eating, right? So every person, like they would say today, in a caloric diet or whatever, like on a menu, you'll see, like what's the word I'm looking for? Man, I just had it too. Man, it just slipped my mind just that quick, man. But anyways, it says they had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. All right. Well, another word for that would be portion. It's not what I was looking for. I had another word in mind. All right. But yeah. So every person having their fill. So it says, and Moses said, "Let no man leave of it till the morning." And that's important. It says, and let no man leave of it till the morning. So there should be no extra. All right. So it says, notwithstanding, they hearken not unto Moses. See, that's why we went back up and read the other verse there. To see if you would keep my law, no. All right, will you do what I say or not? Notwithstanding, they hearken not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning. You see, they said what? Not to just, get what you need. You don't need more, because I'm going to give you more. They didn't have to tell them that. But we basically said it anyways, because it says, I'm going to give you quails for meat at night, and I'm going to give you bread, which was the manna in the morning. Right? And obviously, this is going to be he's not just going to feed them one day and then stop. So they should have known right there this was going to be a continuous thing. But they were being what? Greedy. All right? It was saving and all. You didn't need to save. The Lord was going to feed you every single day. All right? So it says, notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was wroth with them. You see? It says, and they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. Okay. And I'm curious of what it says worms here, because I don't know why I'm thinking maggots, because it doesn't have to be maggots, but it could be anything. So I'm going to see what it says here. Tawalai. Let me see what it says. Tawalai. Worm, scarlet stuff, crimson. The female coccus illicus, or however you see. The dye made from the dried body of the female of the worm coccus. You see, there it is, right there, maggot. All right. So let's see what this coccus illicus is, if we can. Let me take that little. Here you go. Oh shoot! I didn't mean to get all of it. I just wanted. Okay, so I meant to hit these buttons here. There you go. Kermis illicus, a species of scaled insect in the family Kermisidae, order Homoptera, the common name of which also represents the red dye that is obtained from the dry bodies of these insects. Let me see here. Interesting, but I don't want to go into all that. Is that it? Let me see. Let me do this. Let's just pull up the. Or is that a nest? Oh, Shalaki, if you're squeamish, I didn't give you a warning this time, did I? It almost looks like a tick or a bed bug or something. The crimson worm and the cocaine, the cross, whatever. They look pretty disgusting though. And they're only but so big, so obviously it took a whole lot of these to make the dye for whoever used this dye. Whoever's making this dye, I'm pretty sure it took a lot of these bugs, man. Okay, I guess we can go on back from there. A red worm found primarily in the Middle East, which produces a brilliant red dye. Hebrew word and crimson worm in English. That's what we just read there, actually. It's a scarlet in the Bible instead of a worm. A scale of insects which live in oak trees, with the main species of the ancient world being Kermes, scarlet worm. So you see it, man. We can go on back. Probably a lot more we could probably look into. I'm pretty sure we could pull up the maggot, right? I don't think you want to see the maggot, though. All right, so let's keep going. Let's see what this says. You lie. Okay, something else. All right, so it says, and it bred. As a matter of fact, let's see what the other translations say. Sometimes they can be straightforward. But they did not listen to Moses, AMP, and some left the supply of it until the morning, and it bred worms and became foul and rotten, and Moses was angry. So it's just worms there. So let's get the NLT in verse 20. But some of them didn't listen. Morning. Okay, yep. See, it says, but by then it was full of maggots and had a terrible smell. Okay, so yeah, that's why, I mentioned maggots. Maggots the first thing that comes to mind. And I'm not saying it was the Coccus illicus. I was just interested in what, that was all about. Okay, which that probably, I mean, it could have been like a, I don't know, maybe, probably not though. So I was about to say a form of a maggot, maybe. I doubt it. I actually went to KJV. But you get the general idea. Worms, maggots, all right? Because, it happens, all right? Like if you got a dog, you feed a dog bones or something like that, and it had enough bones for the moment, so maybe you store them away, and I don't know, maybe you put them in your refrigerator or something, or basically however you store them away. If you leave those bones long enough, all right, eventually maggots will come out of them, all right, or anything. I was just using those net for an example. So it says, further down, verse 20. As we just read that, it says, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was wroth with them. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. All right. So now when the sun is melting, it's down. So now it says the Sabbath observed. Because remember, we would gather twice on day 6. And on the Sabbath, we rested, right? Which means, basically no work. Now it means you just slept all day. So it says, and it came to pass, Exodus 16 and 22, that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man, and all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And it goes to show you have to be a lot out here, all right? It had to be a lot, okay? So it says, and I'm not talking about the omer, but I mean like a lot of the manna. And he said unto them, this is that which Yahweh had said, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Yahweh. Bake that which you will bake today and seethe, all right, boil, all right, because maybe you want to eat some quail, all right, for dinner tomorrow or whatever, eat some quail. You get the point, all right, because seethe goes into boil, all right. See, boil, cook, bake, roast, ripen, grow ripe, all right. So, yeah, so bake, what you're going to bake today, seethe that you will seethe, and that which remaineth over, lay up for you to be kept until the morning. And basically what you're going to eat, now or today or whatever, and then tomorrow you have more to eat because you not to kindle that fire tomorrow. It says, and they laid it up till the morning, and Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein, because this was what was commanded. All right, you keeping extra when you had enough, that wasn't commanded. You only needed enough to be full, to be happy and rest. Okay, and so what was left over, it rotted out and brought maggots and the coccus worm or whatever, okay? And so that's why Moses was angry, because that wasn't commanded of you. They did that on their own, being greedy. Why you got more than what you need, okay? It said what, 2 quarts or 2 liters for every single person? That was definitely enough for every person to be full, all right, and be happy until the next day. But this was commanded. That's why, worms were bred, all right? And it didn't sting. So verse 25 says, and Moses said, eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto Yahweh. Today ye shall not find it in the field. All right. And check out what happens though. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. And, of course, time is passing here. It's not just 1 week. All right. This probably happened, a couple weeks in a row, maybe even more. Who knows? All right. Because there's a reason why these things are repeated. Okay. Because the Israelites were always hard headed. Okay. So it says, and it came to pass that there went out some of the people. You see, and it came to pass, meaning time has passed by. So we don't know how many weeks, but because the Sabbath day only comes once a week, right? So we don't know how many weeks this has happened over and over. But let's keep reading. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the seventh day for to gather, and they found none. All right. What are you doing? It's the Sabbath day, and you're going out to try to find some manna. What are you doing, man? All right. So it says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? Going back to why we went back up to the top and read that scripture to prove you. All right. Will you keep my law or no? And it showed, all right, that it had to, a couple times the Lord gave them a couple, maybe multiple times. We don't know. This could have happened for a month before the Lord was like, you know what? How long are you going to continue to refuse doing what I say, and whatever I tell you say you do, whatever I tell you not to do, don't do? How long is it going to be like this? You see? And Yahweh said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See? For that Yahweh hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the sixth day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the seventh day. All right? So the Lord is saying, look, Moses, y'all got to get in line, man. Okay? You're not quite getting it. All right? This is what I'm going to tell you what to do one more time. Okay? Let no man go out of his place on the seventh day. So the people rested on the seventh day. All right? It says let no man go out of his place. All right. So you got double food for day 6, and you got more for day 7. So don't even leave your tent, because you don't even need to even go out for food, because you got food from day 6. So there's no need. You just chill out. All right. It wasn't hard at all. Really, it wasn't when you really step back and look at the bigger picture here. It wasn't hard at all. But it's just the disobedience in the Israelites, man. So it says, so the people rested on the seventh day, and the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. You know it tasted good, all right? Because let me get the coriander seed real quick. The word God. A plant, the seed of which resembles manna. See what it looks like. Little white seeds from correct. Probably like little white. Almost kind of looks fluffy from correct. Okay, what kind of yellowish brownish coriander. So you see it there. All right. So if we go back, what does coriander taste like? Fresh citrus taste with a strong aroma, while the haters say it was a soapy taste and a pungent smell. Okay. Oh, I thought he was taking us to somewhere else. So what's happening here? All right. So cool. So yeah, it says a coriander seed. It says white. All right, which then it did say white. All right. And the taste of it like wafers made with honey. Like I said, it had to taste good, because remember those uh, wafer cookies, all right, or whatever. And a matter of fact, let's pull it up. Right, the wafers. Tazapayachath. Tazapayachath. I think I said it right. Tazapayachath. Yep, Tazapayachath. Flat cake, wafer. Let's pull up wafer. A very thin, light, crisp, sweet cookie or cracker, especially one of a kind eaten with ice cream. So let's go to the images. You see? Look, there you go. You see? And look, someone's cooking some similar to probably what it would have been in the ancient days. You see? So wafers, and then it said with honey, man. Come on, man. So it tasted good, man. I wouldn't mind taking a piece of that today and see what it tastes like. All right? Yeah, see? The wafers. They had the cookies that were similar to it, Nilla wafer cookies, all right? I'm talking about modern day, food, but we're speaking about the ancient times, all right? So there you go. Let's see what this is here. Okay, jar for liquids. All right, so yeah, wafers made with honey, man. All right, taste of it was like wafers made with honey. So was not only good to eat for us to eat, but it tasted good. Okay. And Moses said, "This is the thing which Yahweh commanded. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt." So he's telling them to store some away, all right, for future generations, so you can show that, hey, down the line, future generations, this is what we ate right here, all right. So you're supposed to gather some and keep it somewhere stored, all right. Never eat it, all right, to show future generations that this is what we ate in the wilderness when the Lord delivered us out of Egypt. And Moses said unto Aaron, "Take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before Yahweh to be kept for your generations. As Yahweh commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept." All right. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years until they came to the land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came into the borders of the land of Canaan. All right. Now, an omer is the 10th part of an ephah. Right. So, yeah. And so, remember, Canaan was the promised land that was promised to us. All right. And we eventually get those lands, but it's under, pretty much, I mean, it's through military campaigns, and at some point Joshua begins to lead the Israelites. All right, and so we leave it at that. As Exodus chapter 16, like I said, straightforward chapter. All right, but it's the beginning of the constant complaining and stubborn disobedience of the Israelites. Right, but we moving forward. All right, so Lord, will you edify to next time, Joshua? I'm going to say shalom.